All right, so tonight we're gonna work with the death card. So find your respective deaths. I'm just kidding. Choose your death card. Okay, and what I want to do is open it up. I was trying to think, how do I want to start tonight? And I want to start tonight by asking you guys what you think death is and like what happens on the other side of death. And it's okay if we all have differing opinions, and I don't want to poison the well by giving you what I think. So yeah, we're going to start there. Who would like to start? And you can pass too. You don't have to say anything.
I'll go.
Okay.
So I've done a lot of studying of people's near-death experiences, and also this one scientist who has done used hypnosis to bring people into their in-between life states, and it's incredible to hear them tell the same exact story, and they talk about how they meet with these entities, and they plan out their whole life, basically a script for their life, and meet with the major players in their life, their family, their wife, and that kind of thing. And and they basically all sign like a contract and agreement to like, hey, this is what we're going to do, and um, and then also from people's near death experiences. Like I think that it's probably that it's just and this other guy I've been that I got turned on to. This guy Darius J. Wright is his name. He's got a website and YouTube, and he teaches people to go to do this. It's not like a meditation, really. It's like inducing sleep paralysis, and then instead of when you have sleep paralysis, you kind of like panic and you want it to end, but instead of doing that, you like embrace it, and you can use that to leave your body.
Cool.
And he shows like all of the different like levels of, you could call them like heavens or whatever, that are where all of the people that are not incarnated.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
What happens after? Like that's just what I want to get to. Like
Okay,
what happens after?
So what happens?
Yeah,
after?
like keep it short and sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what happens after? I think that you they can meet all your friends that have passed away.
Okay, so you believe in like an afterlife?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but with a focus on like reincarnating here or going to other worlds. I think there are other worlds other than this.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Nathan.
So I view the concept of death as a generalization for the notion of cessation. So you could view that in multiple ways, whether that be through the physical body or the death of ideological thought, death of relationships, just a general something that comes to an end. Now, regarding what comes after that, that's almost a separate topic. And again, to some extent, you see things like resurrection, complete finality, possibly a transition into something completely otherworldly and unrelated. But I see the death as that exact minutia moment of a cessation of whatever aspect of that subject is.
Perfect. Thank you. Beautiful, short and sweet, to the point. Awesome.
Go I feel that, and I think death. It's a transition of some sort, of something major that's going on in your life. It's not necessarily your physical death, and it can be, but it's a lot of other things that we're all going through, and it's a transition of something into something else.
Perfect. Awesome. So no, like after, it's just a transition into something. Can't say
what. There's always an after. There's always an after, but we don't know what it is until we get there. We might try to guess to what we think is there. Mm-hmm. We don't know until we get there.
So I want to dig into this a little bit, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay. So it's a guess. Would you say that the current like ideologies of what happens after death are just guesses then? Since like the living are like holding like these different ideas of what happens.
I don't know, because I've actually looked at a lot of different philosophies. I've looked at a lot of different religions, and every one of them has something different. And they like to think that they know what's coming, and I just don't think anybody really knows.
All right, sweet. We're good.
Okay.
All right, I was just curious because it's like there's all these theories, and it's like, what do you actually believe at what point? You know? Yeah. All right. Cool. I like that. Thank you. All right, Tiffany.
So I actually am someone who has a near-death experience. Actually, was dead, and then was revived after they thought I wasn't revivable.
Yeah.
So I have very clear memories, very detailed memory of what happened then, and didn't find out that I had, died until like a day later. There was a miscommunication in the hospital. They were looking for another patient with a similar name. So they told her my story, and anyway, so I just feel like death is, like you said, like a transition. It's from going from one plane of existence to another. What happens afterwards? I do believe that there is another side of the spiritual components of our beingness. Death is a biological thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's something like a relationship or a journey, that it still has like a biological component, like a death relationship has a physical impact on you and your heart. So yeah, so I think that like what happens after is that the biological component of ourselves is recycled into biological concrete beingness, and then our spiritual self goes to another plane of existence, whether that is heaven, as I believe it is, or something else. That is up for other people to decide for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it.
Yeah, I agree with all of your answers and perspectives. I guess the only thing I would add on top of it is I think you can reflect after death, and whether that's physical death or any sort of cessation, whatever, you can reflect on it and learn and grow, hopefully, to take with you into the next level.
Okay. All right. So we have a whole bunch of ideas about death. I wrote some of them down. We have recycling. We have separation of spirit and matter. So I kind of pulled that out of a single answer. Transition, secession, reflection. These are all really great words, like key words for everything that everybody said. I feel like reflection was kind of what you guys were kind of echoing the same thing. All right. So we're going to revisit this list here in a second. But before we do that, I felt the need to show you guys some tarot history before we start. Now, this card is here.
Oh.
Yeah, it's okay. Just look at it. It's fine. Then we'll pass it around. It's okay. It seems like you're in the zone, so you can pass it around. This card is this is a 1885, 1890 card. That's a Schaffenhaus tarot. It's from Sweden. It's the Marseille pattern. That actually came from the set that you bought. One of the cards. Yeah.
I recognize the name.
Yeah. So this is an 1850s facsimile of the Marseille. And what you can see is that it's completely different than the Rider-Waite. It's completely different. So what happened was Arthur Edward Waite, decided he was going to make his own. He decided he was going to make his own rendition. So he completely deviated from traditional tarot, which was unlike him because he was such a traditionalist. Like Waite loved the Catholic Church. He loved traditional Christianity, and so this was like huge for him. But what he added was that you can really see that Christian influence with the white horse, right? So we have the horseman, kind of apocalyptic in a way. This is the BOTA tarot, very similar to to the traditional Mersai pattern. So what Wade also did was took out the key feature of the scythe. The scythe. So in the historical tarots, we have the scythe. It was taken out, and it aligns a little more with the traditional westernized. This one, death figure. Now what I'm going to do is kind of leave these around here for you guys so you can you guys share? Thank you. And what I'm going to teach you actually kind of aligns a little more with the traditional pattern, but we're going to bring some of the symbolism from Waite's card into it too, because I think he did do some great things for this card also. So let's begin. So death is obviously an ending of something, and to me it kind of represents like breaking apart, like a splitting of the paths to me. And we're going to use all of these different teachings or these different words or these different ideas that we have. So on a molecular level, when we really die and we don't get revived, like we have a very special thing that happened to somebody here. They died and they were brought back to life. There are people that are put on machines for a year and they come back, right? So we have modern technology that can kind of save these people that would otherwise just perish. So if we were to really die, what would happen is that the cellular matter of your body would start to break down. And if we use the law of matter, neither being created or destroyed, what would happen is it's just sent back into the physical world. So the matter in your body just gets recycled back into the material world. So we have recycling. Now what's interesting is that as we walked around the room, there was like this notion of like a separation between spirit and matter. So like we had a couple people say like, oh, well, your body's going to die, but your spirit's going to like go somewhere else. So this is acknowledging that we're actually like almost living in two separate realities at once. This has a lot of implications, this statement. It implies that there's a separation between matter and spirit. It has an implication that there's something outside of our reality. And it also implies that you don't need your body to live, to like actually be alive. So there's a lot of really important things from this statement. Now transition. I feel like every moment that we're alive, we're in like a transition of like splitting paths. And like it's breaking apart old, building new, things coming back together. Now, I would like our friend here to define his secession word. Define it.
Something coming to an end.
Coming to an end.
Ceasing to exist.
Ceasing to exist. So we're just going to put ending. Okay, cool. Perfect. And reflection. Reflection's pretty easy. So on our card, we have, on our traditional card here, we have a scythe, and we have people's heads and arms laying around in a field, right? We have some growth. We have some new growth, little sprouts coming out of the ground. Okay. We also have a sun in the background. Not so much in the traditional one. That was more a little of a modern take. We have a scythe. So we're going to decipher this card. Now, I mentioned when our body dies, it breaks apart. What would indicate that in the card?
The various body parts.
The various body parts. It's broken up. It's like breaking apart. What the heck? You see that?
That they're in the soil, it's like
Decomposing. So what did I say happens to the body after it dies? Decomposes, and the matter in your body is just kind of like recycled back into the universe. Okay. So we can see it quite clearly in the card, right? Like it's there. It's there. Boom. Okay. Now, what in the card implies separation? Besides the broken apart things, like broken apart body parts.
Right?
The scythe. Cut things up. But you know what a scythe originally was for? Harvesting wheat. The harvester. Perfect. Now, you might think that breaking the body apart is an ending, but honestly, that decomposing matter could be thrown in the field, used to grow some more plants, keep them nutritious, keep that soil nice and full of nitrogen, nice and fertile, right? So, what I'm going to show you is what I think happens after death. And it's all in the card, and I got this all from the card. So, I think after death, okay, first let me say this. I don't think that there's any separation between spirit and matter. I think that spirit is embedded inside of matter. I think it's inside of the material world. We are literally living it right now. We are inside of spirit. It's inside of all the little molecules. I don't think that there's like a external spiritual reality. I just think it's one thing. Now, what does this mean? This means that we only have like our souls when we're alive. Like I think that our souls only embody us when we're living. Now, I also believe that you can charge your cells or change your body chemistry by the way that you think. And this can be proven by neuroplasticity. This can be proven by neuroscientists testing people's stress hormones, all these crazy psychological experiments. You can literally change your body chemistry by the way that you think. Now, what does this mean? This means that you can charge your cells with whatever mental charge you want. Now, I think what happens after death is that you charge your cells with you, like you, who you are. And after it breaks down, those charged cells, those cells that have a mental charge, they're then recycled back into matter. And when like a new thing is formed, it releases that mental charge. So what's interesting is that I also believe that there are some really powerful beings, powerful things that can put their mental charge inside of these cells and also like reincarnate. So I think this is the idea of reincarnation. That like that cell that person had, or that alien had, or that tree had, or that animal had is brought back together in a life form, and then that charge is released. And so, you know, these people like the Dalai Lama choosing all these different things, they just picked up a cell from that previous body. So I also think that death is what drives evolution. Now, in the back of the Rider-Waite card, there's two towers. You see the two towers? Okay, those are the towers in the moon card. So let's get the moon card out from the Rider pack. And then I'll show you some really cool stuff. And then we'll keep going. All right, you see the two towers? Oh, no, they're the moon card.
Oh, moon. Sorry.
Moon.
So sorry.
There's a tower there too. We could bring that back. We could go that route too. Yeah. So you see the two towers in the moon card are actually inside of the death card. Now, the moon represents evolution, and you can see that by the crayfish coming out of the water, turning into the wolf, and then the dog. And what the idea is that it's consciousness becoming domesticated. So that's what the moon card represents. It's kind of like consciousness evolving towards its most ideal self. And the people that created tarot, or the modern tarot, were very human-centric. So they believed that like humans were the ultimate form of consciousness. Yeah. Like they believed that like the human mind was like the ultimate thing. But obviously with Atlas 3 or 3-Eye Atlas, we might not be the most conscious thing in this universe. Anyway, the card represents evolution. And the only way that things can evolve is if they pass away. So yeah, we have the card of evolution in there. Now, our friend here brought out the tower. It's the same towers. You also need destruction for evolution to have. The old must be annihilated for any type of evolution to occur. Transition. Secession, ending, annihilation. Another cool thing. Who knows what the powers of Saturn are? Saturn? Saturn? Kabbalistic tree, anybody? No? Yeah?
Well, there's a lot of stuff about Saturn. Like the black cube represents Saturn, and the mortarboard on graduation hats.
Mm-hmm.
Like the spinning cube in downtown Ann Arbor.
Spinning cube, yes. Saturn, very Saturnal. Or the Kaaba. The Kaaba. Muslims, they all rotate around it, and it's a black cube, and they all do the like chants and the dances. Very Saturnal force. One of my friends. It concentrates, yeah. It also eats its young. Saturn. It's the great constrictor. So for us that are versed in Hermetic Kabbalah, it's assigned to Bina. So it's a restrictive force. It's considered like a motherly force. Now in the card, use your imagination. You can use your imagination, but I was in like a deep meditation one day, man, and I was like, it's in the card. It's got to be in the card. You can kind of see Saturn. So imagine the psi being the curve coming up. I have a really cool sketch, and I made the scythe Saturn. So I put the scythe here, and then it comes up. And then imagine the body of the skeleton being here. Like this is the body, this is its hands. That's the scythe. So it's kind of embedded inside of the card. And in BOTA, it's also said that the scythe represents Saturn. And like I cross-referenced that with a few people. So why would the powers of restriction be in death? Or concentration? You got it. It's right there.
Because with the breaking down of our matter, it's concentrating our cells into, I know it's right there. Sorry, someone else has to do it. I can't, block.
No, you've got it.
Breaking down into our atomic concentrated level.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry,
No, that's okay.
my brain's not gonna work anymore.
And then it reconcentrates itself,
Mhm.
and then it builds up a new body, and then it breaks it down and it builds up a new body. So you can't separate life from death. That's what they always teach. All occult schools, they always say it. Or esoteric schools, mysticism schools, you cannot separate life from death. It's the same thing. Why Why does our universe allow for death to happen? Like, why does it allow it to happen? If it was a bad thing, like, or if it wasn't needed in nature, like, why would it be allowed?
Because it is needed in nature.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So could we say it's just as good as birth? Like, why are we attaching feelings to it? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Now we're thinking. Now we're actually doing some like tarot. Like we're like really thinking about this stuff. All right. Any comments about what I said? You can object. You could say, but haha, did you think about this?
I mean, I understand death is necessary,
Uh-huh.
but comparing death to birth, it's like, because part of our consciousness is having emotions and having feelings, and that there's this negative connotation of death because it is a new absence of something that was previously there.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's like, yes, they're both sides of the same existence, basically, where death is part of death. For those of the survivors, it initiates a grieving process, whereas birth initiates a celebration process.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I don't want to think of death as a bad thing, even though it feels bad.
Yeah.
So there you go. That was it.
No, that's fine. You're helping me think about some other things that I forgot to that I want to mention. How does does anybody have anything else? Then I want to continue.
Is that the Saturn symbol that you drew?
That is the Saturn symbol. It's very important. It's like one of the most exalted symbols in Western astrology and esotericism. It's really important. It's probably the most important force.
Are we kind of containing the discussions to the Western philosophies?
No, you can open it up, whatever you want, and then I want to say something.
It's just curiosity, because the Eastern philosophies and the Western philosophies are very different about what's good and what's bad, and what's one side of the coin and what's the other side, and none is better than the other. But I just didn't know where this was going to lead.
No, you're fine. In modern occultism, it's all fair game. Like, you'll be reading a freaking Dion Fortune book, and she'll all of a sudden be like, and in the Eastern philosophies, it's like, okay, here we go. So it's all fair game. All fair game. I mean, look at Blavatsky's, organization. Totally mixture of both, leaning a little more on Eastern, but it's essentially a Western practice, It's all fair game. Whatever you can connect it to. I had this realization when I was meditating with this card a lot, like a year ago, that death is also the purifier. Like, through destruction becomes purity. And we can see that with the white rose in the card, right? Like, white represents something that's pure, and the rose is something that it desires. When you look at the tarot, you're actually dealing with forces, especially the major arcana. These all represent forces. And so this death force is the great purifier. It's the great purifier. Now, I want to tell you how to read numbers in the occult fashion. And you read numbers like you read Hebrew, from left to right. So we have the powers of 3 addressing the 1. The powers of 3 represent like birth, represents like the birthing process. So 3 is assigned to Dalit. If you know what I'm talking about, which is the door, which is assigned to the Empress card. So we have a relationship between the Empress and the powers of 1, which is like the completeness, which is the all. And if you reverse it, birthing back into the all, which is like the unseparated, the completely unified, the all being, the inseparable. Are you guys still with me, or is this like way too crazy? Okay.
Crazy.
We're good.
Okay, cool. All right. Any other thoughts and questions?
Where do you see the two numbers of 13 just in the number of the card? Is that
The new Roman numerals at the
that's
top.
pretty you think that was deliberate for this?
The Roman numerals.
Yes.
It would be XIII.
No, I mean for the death card being 13. Is that universal? Do you think that was an intentionality for this?
Possibly. I know I read somewhere that 13 is considered like an unlucky number.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's like a really spiritual number. What do you guys think? Why? Why do you ask?
Just wondered if that was a like I said, if the how much do I have to put in the numbering of the major arcana, if that was historically consistent, so how much that should be dissected.
Gotcha. I will say that death has been that number for at least the past 500 years.
Wow.
And if you think of it, it's the 14th card in the deck start at 0 with Fool.
Yeah.
So then that would make the Hanged Man the unlucky 13th.
Ooh. Yeah, you're right.
Pretty unlucky.
It's pretty unlucky. So.
Yeah, so last time we met, we talked about how the hangman like represents reversal. Well, this is kind of a reversal in a way. Like this is releasing your consciousness like back into the all-being thing. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the card? I gave you what I think. What do you guys think this card means? What? Oh, and this is a sign to Scorpio. I will give anybody a 20-minute tarot session on the phone if you can write the sign of Scorpio up here.
Oh, I can actually.
Nope, no cheating. You cannot look. You have to know it by heart. And we can talk on the phone for 20 minutes. Okay. All right. She
Was
won.
I right?
Yeah, you were. Okay, now another chance to redeem everybody.
I mean, yesterday was my husband's birthday, so I know his sign.
Okay, coincidence. Can you write the sign of Mars on here? Does anybody know Mars? Nathan?
I think so.
Okay. You laughed really hard at my joke for Mars one day. I remember it clearly. Nathan was here and I wrote the sign of Mars.
I'm gonna embarrass myself.
It's okay. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's the sign of Mars. All right, so Scorpio is really weird. You want to know why? It's a water sign, but it's ruled by the fiery Mars. It's like a juxtaposition. It does, doesn't it?
They cancel each other out.
Yeah.
Water and fire.
Water and fire.
Because water will put out a fire, and fire will turn water into a gas.
Mm-hmm. That's why I almost said like, it's weird. I said in this video one time, I was like, the Scorpio or the death force is like a wall of water, but it's like charged by fire because it just runs through everything. Think of like a tsunami, but this tsunami is like popping up in little spots everywhere, but it's like just there. It's like an invisible wall, just like running through everything. Yeah, breaking things down. Then it just builds it back up. What? What's so funny?
I don't really know how to frame my question, but like you were saying that you were meditating on the card and arrived to your conclusion about death. Like, did your whole thing about a mental charge and no separation of spirit and matter, is that, where did you find that in the card, or were you just telling your own belief because we all shared our own beliefs?
I was telling you my own belief.
Okay.
So it was like a presupposed premise. Like I believe that matter and spirit are not separate. I believe that it's all one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Any Scorpios in the room?
No.
Nope.
I tried. I really tried to
Oh,
get
so
resonated.
I've got a fair amount of Scorpio in my life. If you were trying to describe in 2 words a Scorpio, generally how do they show up in his life? How would you describe it?
Piercing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Honestly, I feel like this is the most I feel like this is the most transfiguring and elusive, one of the most elusive signs, and I'll tell you why. There's actually 4 different animals that the Scorpio represents. It represents the snake. So a snake can represent Scorpio, which is like the middle. So Scorpio has many levels. They have a high, a middle, and a low. And the high is Phoenix and Eagle. So they're the 2. We'll dig into Phoenix here, and that aligns with my thesis of what I think about this card. Phoenix and Eagle, Snake, which is the middle, the ground creature, so this is the middle, and then the Scorpion, which digs underground, builds burrows. Now the Phoenix, very important in Western and Eastern thought. This is like one of those mythical creatures that you see. Oh, perfect. That you see in Eastern thought and Western thought. It's the thing that never dies, but what happens is it just keeps recycling itself. It keeps going, being reborn and reborn and reborn. And that aligns with this thesis, like with this idea that I like showed you guys about what this card represents. So there we have it. Again. So I would say elusive transfiguration. I don't want to say transformation, but transfiguration. Like same figure, but it just changes. And I've also found that a lot of the Scorpios in my life that I've met, they put out like a really like dark front. They're like really dark. They're usually the people that have like the tattoos and like all the piercings and like the makeup. And then like you'll sit down and you'll be like, okay, yeah, let's go have lunch. And they're like crying to you on your shoulder and like, you know, all this other stuff. So there we have, they're transfiguring. It's the same form, it's just like different selves.
No, I'm just thinking because most of my exes were Scorpios.
Uh-huh.
And then I met my husband who's like the complete opposite of all of my exes. And I was like, you're not a Scorpio, but he is. So it's just like, but what you were saying was like, yeah, those were my exes. The dark guys, the tattoos, the nature, mysteriousness of, you know, their charm. And then there's my husband who's Scorpio too, and not that.
Yeah.
It's interesting because more of the Scorpios in my life have been females as opposed to males, and there's a difference between the two that I've found. But the ones, the females tend to be in this space, the mysteriousness, the darkness, and there's almost they're so caught up in death and in sex, right? That these are energies of that whole transition.
Yeah, I agree. That's yeah.
Yeah, I just related that. I was like, why are they always associated with sex? And it's like, oh, Mars.
Mars, yeah.
There it is.
So they work with the Mars force, yeah, exactly. And all of these animals, they're all like you don't want to run into any of these animals. Like an eagle, literally rip your freaking face off with their claws and their talon. A snake, I'm pretty sure that we have like an innate psychological aversion to snakes. And scorpions, obviously, yeah, right. So all these things are like very aversive. They're perceived, yeah.
There was an earwig in my hotel this week. The pincers on the butt. Nope. I squashed it real hard.
Mm-hmm.
My husband actually called me. He was like, "There's an earwig in here," and I had to kill it. So yeah. No, thank you.
Another afterthought about Scorpios: they don't even have to open their mouth and they're already talking. Like just
about the eyes are like piercing.
yeah, like I've noticed like the Scorpios that I've met in my life, they'll walk in the room and they're already talking and like they haven't even said anything. I'm like, your presence is speaking. But I've only like met a few that I've known. I think we had a couple in here like a few months ago. They stopped coming, but yeah. All right, so I want to let you guys speak for like the next 5 minutes. We'll have open discussion, then we'll do a 10-minute meditation, then we'll do readings. What do you guys think? Is this too out there? Cool? What do you guys think?
I want to go to the weight Smith.
The weight deck. Okay.
Is it Rider Waite Smith?
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. So in the imagery of this card, we talked about the towers, which were the same towers as the moon.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the white horse, and so the woman on the ground is the same woman as Strength,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Good
then
job.
The man on the ground in the robes with the crown, is that the emperor or is that just a random
King?
Okay. And then the child is clothed, but like the only child in the tarot is the son,
Mm-hmm.
who's usually naked.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the Hierophant, that's just a regular random like Pope or Cardinal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there any significance to like the little boat in the background?
Yeah, water.
Okay.
Sitting on water.
Sitting on water. Okay.
There's this idea in the tarot, especially the modern tarot, that like the water represents consciousness, like the flowingness of consciousness. And if we think about a stream, it's flowing, it's whirling, like it's recycling, all the water's kind of like flowing onto itself. And the water actually goes through the two towers. So the two towers representing evolution, that's consciousness flowing and evolving towards something, which ultimately that something is like the sun.
So the blue in the card is the water, the yellow is the land.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the green is just more earth.
Yes.
Okay, and then is that like a herald that's in the child's hands?
That's a good question. It almost looks like some flowers or something.
I'm looking at like the golden. Okay, yeah, that looks like flowers, but like the yellow part.
In the hands of the child.
No, like in the yellow part, like right there. Is that like a trumpet or what is that?
Oh, I believe that was like the scepter,
The scepter
of the king.
Of the king. Okay. Trying to figure this out.
No, you're good.
I got another read on one of the symbols.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, not a right or a wrong, right? I don't
Yeah.
know any of you guys yet.
No, you're fine.
I don't think I have anything figured out. But I read the card not as a king, but as a papal figure, as a religious figure because of the religion.
Same.
And so what's fascinating about it is if you take a very religious approach to it, that could be the Pope, that could be begging for some forgiveness or some mercy. But then if you start getting into the more mystic kind of perspective on it, right, it's a whole different figure. So I don't know. Is there a religious read to this character from your perspective?
I was thinking about this. I almost feel like it's like the different aspects of consciousness, like the different archetypal forms. Like we have a religious leader, we have a political leader, we have a mother, we have a child, and it's like maybe even like all of the different means of consciousness eventually, perish or like, die or go back into the all or whatever. I don't know. Does that answer your question? What do you think? Like, I want to hear what you think.
But I tend to lean more towards the mystic perspective on how all this stuff all fits together. And so if you're taking a religious read to it, there is a very clear reason why the Pope or at least a religious figure could be in this position. But if you take a more mystic perspective and you realize that it's all connected, right? It's like when you die, you're not going away. You're actually transitioning to another space. The life is inside of us. The religion is inside of us and outside of us. So I don't think there's a right answer. I think it's really how you read the card that really has some meaning for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's important to formulate your own ideas. I just give you what I think.
I think it's interesting that the religious figure in the cross on is wearing like the people hat is standing and like the king has fallen. It's like saying that the rule of man it can always end. Like the crown is on the ground. He's not wearing his crown anymore. Like nothing in the physical is permanent, but the spiritual still stands.
Yeah.
So that's how I read that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty cool.
I want to tell you guys too. So, has anybody heard of the Age of the Aquarius?
Yeah.
Okay. So this deck, supposedly along with Crowley's deck, that's funny. I picked up the Aeon right when I said this. Along with Crowley's deck, it was supposed to usher in the Age of the Aquarius. So what this is also depicting is like the end of centralized rule of Christianity and kind of like ushering in this new generation of spiritual thought. That's not to say that Christianity won't be involved, but like that overarching rule and clenching force that it had on it is done. And what you said kind of reminded me of that interpretation of this card. Yeah. See, you guys helped me remember stuff that I was taught too.
And I also think I'm sorry, I'm talking so much.
No, you're fine.
I also think it's interesting that it's like strength in a child that have been spared by death. It's like the white of the strength is another image of purity, but a child is also purity, like it's innocence. It had nothing to do with whatever war. I always feel like it's the cessation of the war, just the end of a battle, and like the child and strength were civilians, and they are not going to be touched by death because of their innocence and purity.
Yeah.
And that, like, even with the harshness of war and fallen kingdoms and raids and everything, that innocence is vital, and you don't have to go to darkness when faced with death.
I like that.
I have no idea what I just said.
No.
What did I just say?
Those are good. It's good. You know what that's called? Downloads. Get downloads all the time. Like when you really start to engage with the tarot, you'll just get downloads all the time. I get them more when I actually meditate every day. It's been more like 4 times a week when I meditate. But if you do meditation every day at the same time with a card, you'll get downloads like all the time. You'll be like, oh, and this, and this, and this. You'll start carrying around a little notebook with you, start writing them down in the middle of the day. Yeah, exactly. You know what also is funny? Like, it's like when you die, it's like you carrying around all that weight with you is just like gone. It's like there's no more bills you have to pay. There's no more work. There's no more like all these things that just weigh us down, right? Worrying about our health. It's just done. Like a lot of weight is lifted, in my opinion.
That reminds me of an interesting kind of rhetorical question I heard one time. The idea is that certain people are saying, I'm really worried about when I die, life going on without me. That troubles me, that the world and life going on beyond that. So the question was, are you really concerned about what happened in the 1800s? Naturally, the answer is no, I wasn't around. So if you weren't concerned about time that preceded your existence, why should you be concerned about the time that comes after your consciousness resuscitation?
That's a very interesting point of view.
Just focus on the time when you are here among the mortal world, and don't be concerned about life beyond you or what happened prior to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that has like a lot of moral implications. Like, should we actually care about the future or like the future of humanity? But
Well,
like,
I think that's very, very paramount, because you're kind of handing that off the future to those generations, whatever that may be.
yeah. Yeah.
I think there's a difference between, planning for the future and hoping to leave it a better place than you found it, like when you're in nature. And then like you were saying, like worrying about what life going on without me, which I think is a selfish thought. Like one is selfless and one is selfish. Like my mom has recently faced some health issues, and she's sort of had a change in her approach to material things, and it's like you can't take it with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very much like, take it from my dead hands then. But no, I'm taking it with me. Somehow. So it's just very interesting that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I could keep talking. Do you guys want to keep talking or do you want to do a meditation?
How long a meditation?
At this point, 10 minutes. Or we could talk for a little while longer.
Meditate.
Meditate?
That's one vote, but
That's
whatever you guys want.
I actually have one quick question. I don't want to
Yeah.
dwell on it too much, but I'm curious. What's the prevailing mentality on the symbolism behind the flag? What's on the flag?
Yeah. That is a white rose and it represents the purification process through the desire of the universe to bring things to an end.
Very succinct. Is there a specific symbolism to the 5 petals?
The 5 petals. Yeah, it's in there. Well, 5 is attached to Gibora, Mars Force, warrior like energy. It's also attached to the Hierophant. 5s are very turbulent numbers. Death is very
I've noticed
turbulent.
that with numerologically, it's a challenge thing. So I
Yeah.
wonder if that was symbolic of death, for better or for worse, being a challenge in some instances.
Yeah, death is a challenge. Death is also something everybody can relate to. So there's 2 things everybody has in common. It's birth and death. Right? And then, and taxes, yeah. Unless you live in like the deep of the Congo and
What?
and then one last thing, and then we're going to do a meditation. Not only does the magic works off of 2 principles, like real magic. Like if you want to be a real magician, works off 2 principles. Works off of bringing things together and breaking things apart. So to manifest something, sometimes you have to destroy something. So death is a part of that process. So take what you will. Take what you will. All right, we're done. Meditation time.